Welcome to the We Want Picks post weigh-in show. My name is Minty Bets, and if you didn't get to watch the weigh-ins this morning, I did it for you. So I'm going to go through the entire card and tell you how people weighed in. This weekend we've got Jandiroba and Amanda Lemos as our main event, and I'm not going to lie, this card has some potentially good fights, but it's not one I found a ton of bets I loved for it, and it feels hard to even find three that I felt comfortable giving out. But alas, this weekend, catch me on ESPN Plus during the broadcast giving out my picks, because I do have three that I really like. Also, be sure to go on to WeWantPicks.com and become a premium member to unlock all of the tools on the site, as well as Angelo's and Jacob's picks for this weekend. These guys do an amazing job pumping out content on a daily basis, so please support them by subscribing. For the most part, everyone actually looked really good. We didn't have any crazy short notice fighters like we did last week, and we also didn't have any weight misses, but we did have one fight scratched off the card, and I'll get to that very shortly. First, we're going to start off with the women's strawweight main event. We've got Brazil versus Brazil. The number 3 ranked Amanda Lemos versus the number 5 Jandiroba. I do have a pick for this fight, which you can catch at the end of the prelims right before the main card begins. Both fighters are coming off of wins here. Virna, though, already on a 3-fight win streak, and she's 4-0 as a betting favorite. She is a slight favorite in this bout, and she came in weighing 115.5 pounds. Amanda was the first fighter to step onto the scale, though, and she's 2-3 as an underdog. She weighed 116 pounds, and both women looked lean. They looked all muscle, and they looked great to go. Now some bad news. We lost the co-main event, which was scheduled between Brad Tavares and Jin Young Park, which is crazy because they both looked really good stepping onto the scale. Brad looked great. Jin Young Park, he was all smiles. I was so excited to watch him fight because Jin Young Park, I have seen 3 of his last 3 fights live. So I feel incredibly grateful that I'm already at the point where I'm watching certain fighters in their 4th or 5th fight at the Apex, and just shows I'm putting in my time. And I actually love watching, these fighters evolve like that. So yeah, we lost the co-main event, and that sucks because I had a pick on it, and I was really interested to see how it played out because Brad Tavares was actually a very popular underdog pick this week. So next up, we've got Steve Garcia and Sungwoo Choi. This matchup seems a little bit tricky to me, so I laid off. Tater tot appearance here. Choi was looking so good, so tan. Oh my goodness, he looked great at 145, while Garcia was one of the last fighters to be weighed, and I was getting a little nervous for him there. He looked a bit out of breath, but he came in right under at 145.5. In the lightweight bout, we've got Kurt Holobaugh and Kainan Kruchetsky facing off. First off, Kurt is 1-6 and 1 no contest in the UFC. Excuse me. He's coming in at 155. Meanwhile, Kainan looked nice and fit, but he came in right under at 154 pounds, I should say. So I'm certainly staying away from this one. In the flyweights, we've got Cody Durden and Bruno Silva. Cody stepped on the scale today at 125.5, while Bruno is coming off of 3 straight wins. He weighed 126 pounds. Sorry, hold on. I gotta, your grandma to the peeps. I gotta show you off to the peeps, buddy. Please, look at the camera. Do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say? Oh my God, I love you so much. Oh, he's so cute. Okay, go back to sleep. Bye-bye. Okay, next. Oh my God, so much hair. We've got Doo-Ho Choi and Bill Algeo. Both fighters coming off of Kyle Nelson fights. Choi ending in a draw and Algeo ending in a loss. The Korean Superboy, love that name by the way, weighed 146 pounds, while Bill Algeo also came in at 146. This next matchup was supposed to be the featured prelim, but since the co-main event got canceled, this fight is going to open up the main card. I'm very interested in this fight. I have a pick for this fight. We've got Jung Young Lee versus Haider Emil, and let me be real with you guys real quick, okay? Emil's a good-looking guy. Not usually my type, but he stood on that scale and he winked at the camera, and oh my God. He weighed 145 pounds. He looks phenomenal. Meanwhile, Lee also looking good. He came in at 145.5. Absolutely love this matchup, and I cannot wait for this one. Next up, we've got the Bantamweights, Brian Kelleher and Cody Gibson. Both men riding cold streaks here, so there's a lot riding for them this Saturday for both fighters. Cody Gibson at 136 and Brian Kelleher stepped on today at 136 as well, but showing off his boom chain. Not really a fan of that. On to the ladies, Miranda Maverick and Diana Barbosa for the women's flyweight. Diana Barbosa is Jacob's lock of the week, and he has been on fire with those. He's only been picking Brazilians as of late, so maybe there is something to it. And story time, a few years ago during the pandemic, when I was still working for Wager Talk, I hosted a UFC betting show with Yanni the Greek. And one of the first things I said on that show was, I don't bet against Brazilians. And look, it holds true. Jacob's lock of the week, it's living proof that you don't bet against Brazilians. So Barbosa weighed 125.5 pounds and looking amazing, honestly. Miranda also weighed 125.5. Next up, Loic Rajabov and Trey Ogden face off in the lightweight bout. The odds indicate that this is going to be kind of a coin flip matchup, and I do not love betting on fights like that. Loic came in looking good at 155.5 and Trey Ogden at 156. Next up, we've got Luana Carolina and Lucie Pudilova. These ladies are also essentially a pick'em on DK. Luana was the last fighter to be weighed, and when 125.5 was announced, that girl rejoiced as if she thought she wasn't going to make it and that her fight was going to be canceled. Meanwhile, Lucie weighed 126, and that girl looked like a mess this morning. Not like just talking about her hair, but like she's so naturally skinny. Like her arms look like mine. They're just like sticks, and she's 1-6 her last 7. So I don't have money on this one, but I wouldn't feel super confident with Lucie here, but who knows? We'll see. And for the first fight of the night, the fight that starts our night, speaking of starting our night, how amazing was Evan Elder's sub over Darius Flowers last week at UFC Denver? So hopefully this fight can live up to that one. We've got Thomas Petersen versus Mohammed Usman. That is, yes, Kamaru Usman's brother, and it's so insane to me when siblings are athletes. Like, becoming a pro athlete is difficult enough, and now 2 of your kids are pro athletes? Like, look at the Watt brothers. All 3 brothers. They're in the NFL. How insane. Insane genes. And it's insane when you get the athletic gene, because it couldn't be me. I could not catch or throw. Anyway, Mohammed Usman looked like an absolute muscle unit at 236.5. Like, I feel like if I threw knives at him, he just would bounce right off. Petersen weighed Peter did not weigh anything. Thomas Petersen weighed 258.5 pounds. And that is it, folks. I wish you all the best of luck betting this weekend, and make sure to follow and subscribe to We Want Picks right here on YouTube and all other social platforms. Follow me anywhere at Minty Bets, and catch you next week for the weigh-ins for UFC 304 in Manchester, England, Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad.